And live on YouTube. Yep.
Quick.
3, 2, 1.
Could you go into my closet and grab a t-shirt? Yeah. Thank you. What's happening, guys? Happy Tuesday. I have a massive training session today. This is going to be a mock comp day in a couple. This is the sort of prep work that I'm doing. This is prep work that I would do the morning of the show as well. And my goal this afternoon is to basically do what I would need to do to come third at the Arnolds with a couple of things scaled back more. So I'm going to do a 380 to 390 kilo deadlift, barbell double, 400 pound sandbag to shoulder for a triple, stone drag. I'm going to do dinny walk 35 feet in 20 seconds is the goal. Log press 180 for 4, and then do a sandbag run with 300, 300, 400 over bars. And that's the entire comp. I'm going to aim to do that in about 2.5 hours. And if I think if I do those things, that's probably good enough to come third in the show. And hopefully I can get through that without being too exhausted afterwards. But trying out stuff with Aaron, I'm sure you guys have seen that video, my full day of eating, and different diet stuff, different supplements for show day. And yeah, so I'm very, very excited. I'm looking forward to it a lot. My body feels in really good condition. And so to get ready today, I'm going to do 2 minutes hamstring stretch per side, a minute hip flexor stretch, a minute lat, a minute pec, a minute hip external rotation. Repeat that, and then go 2 rounds of single leg GHD, abductions, and back extensions. So just a lot of general posterior movements to get that fired up and feeling good for later today. So that being said, pop in, say hello, ask anything you would like. Happy to chat Arnold, happy to chat events, expectations, anything like that. And I'm going to get myself going. I've got my timer just over here, which I will bring over so you guys can see as well. Thank you. Oh, thank you, sir. I hope everyone's excited for the Arnold. I am. It's probably my favorite weekend of the year. Just like kicking off the season, so much activity and excitement, and all. A lot of the brands that I work with are there, and you get to see all the fans in the expo, and it's all very fun. Yeah, of course. But it's not like, it never gets to the place that it is inhibitory. Like I don't find it like a really bad thing. The most nervous I get, maybe like 20 minutes before the show. It's funny, my overwhelming feeling is always like, why do I do this? Like, why do I do this to myself? Why do I put myself in this like such a stressed out state? This is so stupid. But it took me a while to recognize that was just me being nervous for a bit. I was like, am I doing the right thing? But you know, you learn to deal with it better and better as time goes on. But yeah, I think if you care a lot about how something goes, you're always going to be nervous about it. And you know, in the end, I'm just a human being. It's possible. Dude looks good. He's one of those guys who doesn't post a lot, so it's hard to like get excited about him. But the little bits that I've seen from him, he's looking really solid. Now, he has his weaknesses, of course. He'll be bottom half of the table on deadlift, likely. He's got just like a lot of nagging injury things that just like bite him in the ass a little bit. But a healthy Tom is very, very good on most other events. The only other one that I think he'd lose some points on is the sear dumbbell. He wasn't convincing at the Invitational. I think he missed the 253 the first time we tried it. So to think that you're going to go anything greater than 253 since the next jump is 274, that feels unlikely. But outside of those two events, like He's such a good athlete. He's so strong. His 430 strict press was ridiculous. 430-pound log strict press, and it looked really good. I did it as well, probably similar effort, but like I was absolutely jazzed, and people would pick me to do really well on anything overhead. So Tom's right up there. And him not being invited to Worlds is definitely stupid, definitely the wrong thing. But I like to understand why things are the way that they are. And Tom is not invited to Arnold's because of some like hatred. But his best result was Strongest Man on Earth. And Strongest Man on Earth was positioning itself as like the anti-world strongest man, like the alternative that's going to take over. And so it would be strange for Worlds to start putting a lot of weight behind that show and like that to determine their invite. So I understand that side of it, but it doesn't make sense because he did well at the Invitational. He's done well at the Arnolds. He was a good stone run away from podium at the Invitational. So it definitely doesn't make sense on the whole, but I'm like, okay, I understand why you got there. Also, it's the thing that I don't hear people talking about with the Giants automatic qualifiers is it's a little bit hard because podium at Giants Live gets you an automatic qualification to World's Strongest Man, which is great. But let's say you came, I don't know. Let's say you just got put in a hard group at World's Strongest Man and you didn't make the final. And then you did well at the Arnold. Say you came third at the Arnolds. Say you came third at the Invitational. You're like, you are definitely someone who should be at World's Strongest Man. The problem is, let's say you're American and they have 6 American spots. If you have 5 guys who podium from America at Giants Live, which isn't a crazy prospect, automatically, how on earth are you going to make room for that guy? So yeah, it's I don't know. It's a flawed system, but I don't have a better one. And I think the fact that we have direct pathways to all these things is just something that we should be grateful for. As someone who's circumvented all of them, I guess I'm kind of a hypocrite, but whatever. Oh.
After that video of eating, about me wondering, are there any foods you will always buy premium, like grass-fed, or where you feel like the extra quality?
No, literally nothing. Yeah, I don't know. Because I also, with my opinion on that stuff, is if I'm not going to educate myself on what everything actually means, like just give it up. So let's say grass-fed. The image that you have of the cow walking around in the field and like, okay, cool. That sounds like it'd be better. But then you're like, what does grass-fed mean? And then it's like, oh, no. They're still in little stressful cages. We just feed them grass. And I'm like, all right, well, if they're being fed grass or hay, does that make a difference? I don't know. So I just tend to go with what is cheap, to be honest. I'm funny. I will spend a lot of money on a very small number of items. And other than that, I'm just not interested. And those items are my house and my car. Other than that, I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I just don't get living a luxurious life. I would rather go to like Kelsey's for a meal, which is like kind of a like mid-level chain. I'd rather go there than a like fancy steakhouse. When I was meeting with Neurogum for the first time, they wanted to go to a 5-star Italian restaurant, which is lovely. But my favorite restaurant in America is the Olive Garden. And I'm like, can we please go to the Olive Garden? I would so much rather that. And we did. And it was fantastic.
I went from never having Olive Garden to 5 times in one trip.
And you're welcome. All right, hamstrings, external rotations done. On to hip flexors.
Will you be live streaming your afternoon session today?
No, we're gonna make a YouTube video from it, but it's a rare session where I want to be focused. I don't want any distractions. I really just want it to go well. It's funny. I was talking to Luke, he's with me now. I was talking to him about, like, I'm doing all these extra things and I care so much more right now. And I know that I don't really have to do all the extra stuff because it's gotten to me where I am, and I could be complacent with that. But something inside of me is just so motivated to do all of the extra little things that I haven't done before. And we'll see how much of a difference they make. You know, maybe it'll be amazing, maybe it won't be, I don't know. But I feel like I'm just enjoying the process of accepting that I'm an athlete. And I think I rejected that as my profession for a long time because it made me really nervous to declare that as my job because it's so fleeting. But right now, it is one of my jobs and I should treat it that way. So yeah, stuff like this is awesome. But yeah, I'm going to focus this afternoon.
What event are you most excited for?
What events am I excited for? I think log. I think log's going to be fun. There's 4 guys who could press it 4 times, I think. Me, Trey, Lucas, and Tom Evans. I don't think all of us will, but I think all of us could. And it's very possible someone squeaks in a 5th rep, which would be pretty legendary. There's a bit of flack about, like, this era of strongman doesn't have the depth of deadlifters that other eras had. When you had Jerry, Brian, Thor, Eddie, all pulling over 1,000 at the Arnold. And you're like, that, yes, you're right. But in the same breath, if you gave us that log that everyone but Z failed at 205, half of the field is hitting that log. So deadlifting specifically, yes, it's not as strong. But in other movements, and particularly in dynamic events, it's a very tough era to be a part of. You kind of have to be fit enough and agile enough to compete with, like, a Marius era, but strong enough to hold your own against a Zydrunas and Brian era. Yeah, anytime I have to do Denny stone holds of any sort, I am not excited. So those. I just don't know how that one's going to go. That's the weird one. Oh. Because, you know, I see guys training and, like, absolutely ripping into carrying plates on pins. But you won't be able to do that. So the question becomes, like, is that really easily translatable? Or is that a big mistake to be training like that and try to do that? TBD. I'm going to try to carry them together, I think. Is that a big mistake, or is that going to be like the easiest win of my career? I don't know. So that's definitely an interesting event, but I don't look forward to the pain.
I have a program question here from Jeremiah. Hey, Mitch, currently working through the lift peak program. Loving it. Wanting to add some side and strength to my legs this year. Should I do a squat peak program or leg focus program?
Leg focus. So squat peak is going to be strength, and leg focus is going to be a mix of strength and hypertrophy. It's a hard thing to explain to most people, but training to gain muscle and training to be strong is not the same thing. They're close, and you can kind of be splitting hairs. But if you're going, like, what is best? For strength, it's best to have a lot of repeated efforts building into super heavy loads. And those lot of repeated efforts have to be very heavy themselves. Where training for hypertrophy, you want lots of volume, and volume very close to failure. And in strength training, you want to use heavy loads, not close to failure. So a set of 2 with 3 left in the tank, and do that 3 times is like a really good rationale. Or if you did that for muscle growth, it would be incredibly inefficient. Oh.
Why do strongmen not power clean the circus body Sean's manner giants a lot when they are relatively light enough to do so?
Because one, it's a risk. If you miss it, it will fall back down to the ground. 2, because often the weights affixed on the end don't rotate. And so if they don't rotate, trying to get that bit where you flip your hands over, really difficult. You also have to think, like, strongmen, we can't get into a front rack position without putting a huge amount of weights on our shoulders. And so you're not power cleaning it to your shoulders. You got to power clean it like to your chin. So possible, but without rotating, your hands just fly off the bar. I do see your point, though. It would be more efficient to do that. Okay, pack.
This one's how much protein do you need a day?
350 grams of protein a day. But today, on a contest style day, protein will be down to maybe 250, and I'll eat more carbohydrates. So instead of 1,000 grams, maybe a little bit more, but it'll just speed digestion up by having less protein. This stretch here, guys, really good to stretch out pec minor. If you do something as simple as put your whole forearm on the wall, which is really common, that's a great pec major stretch, but often pec minor is the thing that's really holding you. So if you compare this to this, it's a very different stimulus. And you'll feel that on your body as well.
Have all the athlete shirts arrived from OSG African? I'm excited to receive the Matt Wright shirt in the US for you.
Yeah, no, they haven't all arrived, and it's almost at the point where I'm just going to say, like, they're not coming, and I'll have to refund some money. Yeah, it's too bad. A couple of athletes haven't sent them, which I'm not going to say who it is because what's the point? But disappointing that they committed to it and then haven't sent them over. So yeah, because once we make that call, then we can also get the money over to the athletes who won, which is really important to me as well. But as you can imagine, we can't send money out until we have all the shirts to be sent to the people who paid for them, or else, like, I don't know what we do. Ask for some money back from competitors or just eat the cost or whatever. But yeah, very, very soon. I think by the Arnold, if we don't have the shirts that we want, we're just going to say we're not going to get them, move on with our lives, and message the people who won those shirts that it didn't come through. Matt Ragg is not one of them. Matt got it here incredibly fast from New Zealand. I was impressed. Oh. All right, one round done, one round to go. Does Instagram get me down here?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, now walking the lives helps me stay motivated to train for nationals and to be as little guys that are trying to lead it.
Good man. Just enjoy the process. That's all I would say to anyone. Is just enjoy the process. I was at a high school yesterday, just talking to the students, and there's this one kid. It was really cool, actually. He reminded me of myself a bit because I'd opened the floor to questions, and he would ask, like, do you feel successful? And the other kids would kind of like chuckle a little bit, like it's a silly question. He'd be like, what? It's the smartest question that you could possibly ask someone. Like most adults wouldn't think that that's a good question, or like think it's a question to ask. But I'm like, it's so good. Like it's so smart. But the reason I bring that up is because my answer to that is like, objectively, there's nothing I could show you or nothing you could ask me that wouldn't sound objectively successful, but I don't have it in me to like actually feel it. I just feel like it's just me and what I do and whatever, like on to the next thing. And there's more that I should be doing and could be doing. And I think that's a competitive edge to any high level athlete. And I think a lot of us would be that way. But the reason I say that is because if you're someone who's so motivated and hungry to do big things, you have to accept that once you accomplish that big thing, you will not get from that anything near what you think. You say you win nationals, you'll sit at nationals with the trophy, and after a few hours of celebrating and whatever, you're going to be back in your room with the same person who you went there with, probably. Let's just assume that. And it's just you guys, and now there's a trophy in the room, and someone has validated that you're very strong. You're like, you know what? It's literally, my life is now the same as it was before. And yeah, so point is, just really enjoy the process. And, you know, if you can find a strongman community, get stuck into that. And yeah, just have fun along the way. It's definitely something I wish I could do better.
Did you see an uptick in your socials when World's Strongest Man showed in the UK?
Not really. No, they say all of these numbers that how many people watch, and there's hundreds of millions of people watching. And personally, I don't see it. I don't see it. When I won, major uptick for sure. But I think that's kind of just how it is. Like the winner gets mega exposure. It's really helpful. But other than that, I'm not sure. Other than the year I won, I haven't noticed much of anything. And my first year. So my first 2 years, I noticed an uptick, but then afterwards, not a whole lot.
And then do the World's Strongest Man events change your podium predictions at all?
Did I make podium predictions for Worlds? I must have. Do they change? It's so hard to see me and Tom off of a World's Strongest Man podium. So I assume I would have said us too. But if I think of the events, who else? I was just thinking, is there an event that's really going to stitch someone up? And that probably takes you off the podium if it costs you a lot of points. Finals events, max log, knack medley, deadlift for reps at a pretty normal weight, the throw, and the stones. Yeah. You know, Evan looks like he's coming back pretty well. So I don't know if I said Evan before, but Evan is definitely a possibility. The bag toss, that kind of ruins Lucas Hassan's chances, in my opinion. And probably in his opinion as well. Lucas knows what's going on. Yeah, that's what I would say. Me, Tom, Evan. 2024 podium repeated would make sense to me. But yeah, that format suits Reno so well that it's quite possible Reno comes and has another blinder. You can never rule that out. I'm really happy that they've put squats in. Squats in the heats will be interesting. So many strongmen don't squat and aren't good squatters. And if you're not a good squatter and you don't like to squat, it's the worst movement to have to practice. It's also a great movement for general strongman strength. I would say if you train one movement to be a good strongman, it should be squats. Interesting though, with the heats, we've got squat for reps at what I would consider to be a lightweight, 320 kilos, 700 pounds, but you can wear wraps and a suit. So there should be tons of reps going on. There won't be, but I think there should be. And then we have truck pull. So if your legs aren't well conditioned, squat for reps and truck pull, you're going to be absolutely toasted by the time the finals come around. So going to be important to be in like really good anaerobic shape and have your recovery as high as possible going into World's Strongest Man this year. No rest day. You imagine right now, if I were to do a set of squats to failure, actually I'm pretty conditioned right now, to be fair, 2 squats. But it's happened where I've done a set of squats to failure and I feel like sore getting out of bed for the next 2 or 3 days. And if you did that to yourself and you're sore getting out of bed and your muscles are sore for the finals of World's Strongest Man, your chances are gone. And how Worlds is now, like you're competing against all the guys in the finals in the heats events as well. So you can't really take it that easy. You kind of got to go for it. But yeah, I'm thinking it through now. Because truck pull, like you got to go for it. Squats, it'll be like a lot of tactics. But it's going to be important to do well in the other events, because if you could just hold back a few percent on truck pull or squats, that could win or lose you the show. Other events are squat for reps, truck pull, overhead medley, farmers into power stairs, and stones of the world. Stones of the world. Here's something that people haven't brought up for like hardcore strongman fans who are interested. People haven't brought up that we're doing Webster stone carry, or whatever they call those, pretty light, like ring carry stones, into stone to shoulder, whatever. We're not going to be allowed tacky towels, because you can't have tacky towels on a ring grip event. And so now we're going to have to do those same stones that so many guys were struggling with without tacky towels and just doing chalk. That's going to be hard as well. I'm not sure that's been fully thought through. ER, pec and lats. This is the nicest hip stretch. If you're looking for one that will really help you out, band behind you, pigeon stretch, push your hip back, lean forward. It feels so good after you're done.
And Jamie Livingston in the deadlift peak program. For the rack pull from 2-inch below knees and the 18-inch deadlift both sit at the same height on my legs. Should I modify something or just leave it?
No, that's fine. That's fine. It really only would be different if you're really tall or really short. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, man. Sometimes I just hate the band pulling on my skin. That's the most uncomfortable bit sometimes. Oh, man. Oh. Really good today. Really, really good today. Like, almost imperceivable. Which, how it feels after today is going to be a better question. I assume it'll be relatively sore by the time all is said and done. But I know how to get it back in shape, and this stuff actually helps considerably. When I can have my hips opening up properly, that's a really positive thing for me to be able to take care of my knees.
Austrian oak to make it 450 like it was back when June was taking reps back in 2016?
No, because like, why is a piece of equipment iconic? Because it's been used over and over and over again. And I don't think modifying a piece of equipment makes it more iconic. The reason that it was 205 before and it's 195 now is because wood dries out over time. And so it's lightened just because the wood's drying out. So they would actually have to add external load for the first time. I don't like it. I don't see the need. How it's set up right now, there's not an easy way to add external load. So you'd have to like modify it to be able to add. And even in that case, how you add the weight makes the log different. It makes the clean different. It makes the balance different than it was before in a probably insignificant way, but it's not like you'd be rolling back the clock doing exactly what Zydrunas was doing. I do wonder though, like, when does that logic run out? Because if the log, it does just have all the water come out of it eventually, but let's say that the log dried out more to 185. You're like, well, that's probably too light for an Arnold's log. So there would be limits, I guess. Oh no, it broke. It broke. Yeah. Who's going to the Arnolds? That's what I'm interested in. Let us know in the chat if you're going to the Arnolds. Intuitively, I think I'll use half a deadlift suit rather than a squat suit, just because I don't want, not to be arrogant, but I don't want to spend like $500 on a suit when I think I could win the event without it. And I think the difference between a deadlift suit and a squat suit is going to be so minimal that, like, not a big deal. But I can squat 310 kilos for a set of 10 without knee wraps on. With knee wraps, I could probably do 320 for a set of 12 to 15. And that would win without a suit at all. You add the suit in and a bit of support from a half a deadlift suit, and like, yeah, okay, so it's not going to be too much of a punish.
Do you think enough time is dedicated to tendon strengthening and conditioning for strongman?
I guess it depends who you're talking about. Yeah, it just depends. Generally speaking, probably not, but we only have so much time, energy, and effort we can put into things. And if I'm going to make the mistake of not being strong enough or risk a tendon coming off the bone, my job is to be strong. And so I'm always focused on being strong. And tendon strength, you'll talk about eccentrics and isometrics that definitely build tendon strength, of course. But it's as much about your rest and recovery as it is about your tendons themselves having a specific stimulus. So I would actually take your question and say, your question is actually asking more about periodization than it is about tendon strength and stiffness specifically. And is there enough periodization to go through those periods where the tendons do have time to catch up? And again, in some people's case, yes. In some people's case, no. But in a lot of cases where it's a no, it's not by choice, it's by design and design of the strongman year. So if I do a comp in March, May, August, and October, and I need to be strong for all of them, it doesn't leave a lot of time to focus on like a lower volume block, a recovery block, a hypertrophy block, a plyometrics block. Like, you just have to keep being strong. And that, I think, is where you run into problems. But then what do you do? Do you opt out of shows? Do you not take opportunities? Do you risk not being invited back places? Yeah, it's a tough thing to balance. Lucas Hatton, I think, is probably doing the best job of anyone I've ever seen of being selective and being very intentional about training. more so than me, because I just accepted every single show I could possibly go to for the first little while. And I would say I got away with it, to be fair. But if everyone else tried the same thing, it's a low success rate. It's a very kind of naive decision, but I was lucky to make it work. And lucky is the word. You don't work hard and then have no injury. Like, it's silly. You don't outwork people and then reduce your injury risk. It's not some X factor, not something you're committed to that other people aren't, or not some knowledge base. A lot of it just comes down to luck and your parents and your genetics.
And we've had another few people say we can get to Arnold. Dalton said he'll be there, Gavin at the booth.
Good.
And then Fiona and Travis said they wanted to come, but the expo passes were sold out with the exception of the silver passes at $400 each. So they will catch you either Ultra on this man or next year.
If you want to come, just put it in the chat and we'll see what we can do. I bet we can sort you out. Or maybe Strongman was sold out? Yeah, I can't do anything about that. But if it's the expo, I'll get you into the expo. I'm sure I could do that. You know who they are?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Cool.
This one here, they mentioned that you're last live stream session. I just want to say that came first. Is a junior men's division in Africa.
Oh, amazing.
And set a junior African deadlift record.
Oh, that was just,
yeah.
that was his goal. Fantastic. Good for you, brother. Good for you. That's amazing. It's really cool going to OSG and seeing like the African contingent that's there. It's wild that this sport has traveled to Africa, like overseas. And, if you think in Canada, hockey is not played in Africa. Football is not played in Africa. And I'm not naive. Of course it is, but not en masse. It's not a super popular thing. Baseball's not played in Africa. It's like all of our normal major sports haven't been able to get any traction over there. I suppose not like main traction for us to, consider like Nigeria's football team, flag football team at the Olympics, or Nigeria's hockey team or something. So it's pretty rare to be able to compete with that continent. And it's awesome seeing that. And of course, there's people who are more Canadian, less Canadian. I would say I'm not that Canadian, but Wes Terwinski is very Canadian, just in demeanor and how he talks. Joey Lavallee, very Canadian in different ways, obviously, because Joey is French. But there's one guy who's very African. I don't know what country he's from. I don't remember. I think it was Zambia. Pretty sure it's Zambia. But he wears an actual animal pelt on his head when he competes. It's not a joke. It's not for national pride. I'm pretty sure that's just how he walks around. That's just what he does, and it's totally normal. Yeah, so cool. All right, into GHD. This guy is awesome. I posted on my Instagram story and got quite a bit of traction on it.
I just want to break
This guy is friggin' awesome. So I'll show you a few of the things today. So I'm going to do single leg GHDs, abductions, and back extensions. Yeah, so for today, a lot of this is just mobility and activation and getting some fluid out of my back so I feel solid and ready to go. That principle where you shrink during the day is true. Sometimes it's imperceivable if you were to measure and remeasure, but it's because when you lie down, fluid will passively go into your intervertebral discs. And if you try to train heavy in the morning, there's too much fluid in there and it creates so much pressure that you'll get a lot of back pain for no reason other than it's just early in the morning. And of course, wouldn't apply to everyone. It depends on inflammation and recovery status, all that. But something like this helps me a lot just to keep that at bay. So it's not overly difficult, and I'm focused more here on range of motion than anything else. And I'm doing sets of 20. Yeah, it's so sick. It's so sick. Beautiful.
What's the time limit on squats and how many reps is your goal?
I don't know. We don't have any more details than you guys have, so I have no idea what the time limit is. It's just what's going to get me the points that I feel like I need at the time. Honestly, if you told me I'm doing a max rep squat at 3/20th reps in a suit, what's your goal? Like, I would hope to be capable of 20, to be honest. But what I'm actually going to do is not going to be anywhere near that. One other thing that's important to note with squats, when you guys are looking at them, I always go high bar because I find that carries over better to all strongman events. And if you want to squat the most, you go low bar. So Thor and Lucas Hatton always post low bar squats. That's just like what they prefer to do, I suppose. And that's probably, you're probably 10% better low bar than high bar. And so when I say I've squatted 310 for 10, and that's what I can do right now, that's high bar. If I took that low bar, we're probably talking 325 for 10 without wraps or a suit. So anyway, I think the number could be big. I just hope that it doesn't have to be.
What did you do or thought process of how to do the deadlift and then going into deadlift?
Oh, sorry, one sec. Jesus. I should be talking about the deadlift program.
Yeah.
So, 18-inch deadlift, you're going to adopt a different position than in your deadlift from the floor. And that's really normal. And so I think combining the two is really good and produce really good results, because that position at your knee, for many people, that transition point is the sticking point. So if you prime your body to get in the most advantageous position to get through that sticking point, then you go down to the ground, you're going to be primed neurally to try to get back to that same point at your sticking point when you pull from the ground. And so the hope is that the positioning carries over and that improves your positioning off of the floor when we go from 18-inch to deadlift from the floor. All right, back extensions. This thing is genuinely so cool. Yeah, but it makes you feel like your head's going to explode. But yeah, it does. One thing I love about this back extension over a traditional 45-degree is that coming from a flex down position back to neutral, I absolutely love it. Over the 45-degree, I feel like I'm cranking my low back a little bit, and I'm almost hyperextending slightly. I find back extension on the 45-degree can tend to flare up my back. This seems to be 100% fine. Yeah, great addition. But I can also turn around, have my butt on this, have my feet in there, and do sit-ups. You can get a really simple attachment to sit here and do knee extensions. Leg curls are super simple and easy. You just here and you just keep your knee back. Feels great. Yeah, this piece of equipment is, I think it's literally the most versatile piece of home gym equipment that you could have.
Super chat here from Align Strength Training. Mitch, have you ever tried DMSO gel and or pentosan for knees? It's worked wonders for me.
No, I haven't. I haven't. DMSO gel. Let's see what we got. It's such a budding time, I feel, for like all of these type of health wellness products. Dimethyl sulfoxide, often blended with aloe vera, derived from wood pulp to relieve muscle soreness, joint pain, arthritis, and sports injuries. It acts as a potent anti-inflammatory and analgesic. That's really cool. That's a great suggestion. Let me get my VPN in Canada. Let's see if we sell it here. That's great. I've learned so much stuff from fans. It's incredible. You'd assume because I am in whatever position that I'm in, that like, oh, obviously I know what I'm doing. And you can know what you're doing and also not know every detail about everything that you're doing. It's been a fun experience. Switch to Canada. There we go. What was the other thing you said?
Pentosan. Pentosan.
Pentosan. Oh, you can get this in the dropper as well. Yeah, see. Oh, it's like goodness me.
There you go.
Cool. Yeah, that's great. I have a problem with these types of products because DMSO gel, dimethyl sulfoxide. Okay. It either is that or is not that. Why is there one that is 5x the price of the others? And you're like, well, I want the best, and I also don't want to waste money. So it's supplement world is like that a lot, by the way. Like, if you ever see a protein powder marketed for women, there's literally nothing stupider on the face of the earth than claiming that women need some sort of different protein mixture to men. That is honestly the stupidest thing I've ever heard. When you worked at the supplement store, did you guys sell any of that?
We did not like it was like it was had collagen in it, just things that
You would. So this GHD you can use in a lot of different ways. So you can, of course, I can fold myself over, grab those two handles back here and use 2 feet. I don't want to do that because I don't want to jack up my lower back today. But you can see right now, I'm basically just treating it as like a swing to like limit muscular effort. because my goal is to just go through a full range, get a bit of a squeeze, and get some mobility going. But if I were to pull it back and really, try and hold at the end, very, very different movement. So really cool application for like exhausting a muscle. So say like exhausting your right glute by doing strict reps, and then you can do a whole bunch of kind of relaxed reps like I'm doing right now. And by the way, I've talked about this thing a lot. I'm not contractually obligated to talk about any Rogue stuff. It's a really strange contract, but I've never spoke much about other pieces of Rogue kit because, here is a squat rack. If you want a squat rack, it's a great one. But this is it's just so versatile and different. I just think it's such a good shout. No, unfortunately not. I will be preoccupied competing. Yeah, it would be nice, but honestly, we could of course do it on Sunday, but that's when the expo wraps up, obviously, and so we've got so much work to do in like wrapping up the booth that we couldn't have staff go somewhere else, and we would have to shut our Arnold booth early, which would be silly. Good stuff. All right, some back extensions, and we are good for the morning.
Do you ever have your own strongman classic?
No, I wouldn't. It's so much effort for huge amounts of headache, very little return. And Luke and I talk about this because Luke thinks it's hilarious how many people don't like me. It's like his favorite thing to talk about. But I think it's quite funny as well, to be honest. But if I ran a show and called it the Hooper Classic and put my name on it and all these things, I think it would be bad PR for me. I think people would hate that I've done that and think that I think I'm so much better than everyone else, and that's so arrogant and that's so da-da-da. And I just don't need that in my life. I'm sweet. I'm good. No. What I would do, though, is like a local level show, a non-pro. Like I would be more apt to run a novice show than I would be to run a pro show, where like no entry fees even. Just come compete. Let's build a community. Let's have some fun. Let's get some people involved in strongman and stuck in. That's what I would be really happy to do. I wouldn't run a pro show.
You see the gym doing strongman Sundays?
I've gone to a couple, yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, someone else has started strongman Sundays at my gym, which is fantastic. It's one of those things like it would be amazing if I could do it, and I would have way sooner if I could have, but I'd be so unreliable to the people. Like I'll be there twice this month and then once the month after, and then I want to do something with my family on the next because I'm finally home. And it's a funny one though, because I really like it and I love that they're doing it and I want to be a part of it, but I also feel like it's a balance between me going to be a part of things and me making a scene of myself. Because if they're all doing like, say, log press, and they're log pressing like, I don't know, 200 pounds, 250 pounds, then like, I just go like mog them all. Do you know what I mean? Like, am I going to go participate? Well, that feels strange, but am I going to go just like go there as an appearance to stare at everyone? That feels strange. Am I going to go like coach everyone? Yeah, I think that's fun. I think that's great. maybe that's the answer.
I think it's cool that you started on your own ways to do it. And you just pop in and
Yeah. I honestly throw my mind into a blender so often with like, what is the right thing to do? And I try my best. And sometimes I get it right. Oh. The dismount is the only bad piece about this. Maybe there's an easier way. Maybe smaller people just have an easier time. But that is me. It is very hot down here, so I've gotten very sweaty. Thank you for watching, guys. Massive session tonight, or this afternoon, a couple of hours, one more meal, a little bit of work, and get stuck in. Hopefully all goes well. You will see it on YouTube next Tuesday, so hit the notification bell if you haven't already. Like the video. Let's get us out to some more people. As always, lift every be kind, and we'll catch you soon. Woo!
Haters talking to me, tell them pipe down. Or it's lights out, zeros on the debit, baby, all I do is swipe now. Gucci sweater 5,000, stunning, buzzing. I be going up, no ceiling. Wow, ballin', running, getting to the paper, I'm peeling out. They gon' know me as legendary. You in the stands, I ain't need no commentary. If you the competition, you gon' get buried. I don't cheat on the game, we getting married. They gon' know me as legendary.